Hey, how's it going? This is your boy Kane Frost, and today I wanted to talk about when is the best time to text a person. And I would probably say anytime, really. Depends on the whole situation of when you got that person's number. So if you were, let's say, at a club, first of all, you shouldn't be trying to get a number to text. You should actually be trying to hook up with the person that night, because I'd say about 80% of the time when you do get a number in hopes of hooking up with a girl the next day or whatever the following week, it's usually not going to happen. It's usually a one-time thing. The person's you guys are both drinking, and the other person, they're just being aloof to the whole situation and just playing along, feeling good, and then the next day they come to their senses and then they're not feeling you that same way. So you most likely you'll get probably a couple of texts back and forth. But even if you're on game and everything's on point, you'll still get ghosted because they got other things going on in their life, and maybe they were a little bit out of their way where they came out and saw you, or they're hanging out with a friend or something, just not living in the city. Could be all kinds of things, but usually it always ends up in a ghost. So you always should be trying to hook up with a person. But let's say you do get a text or you get the number and the person really is interested, the other 20% when she is interested in you. Like I said, this is particularly in a club situation. So if you usually get a text that night, if it's a girl and she's into you, she's usually going to be texting you right then and there, just to make sure you get it. Make sure you got your phone on you and to see if you get the message right there. And that's how it usually works if she's really into you. I've had that happen. I'll ask for my number, and then she'll send me a text right there. And then she'll say, when you get back home, whatever, you get it, send me a text. And usually also that night, let's say she doesn't text you right then and there to make sure it went through, you can always just text her at the end of the night just to make sure she got home right. Hey, just make sure you got home. And she's like, oh yeah, everything's fine. Or maybe she might text you. Say, you can tell her that. Just say, text me when you get home. Just make sure you got home safe. And then they'll say, sure, sounds great. You care. You want to see about their well-being. They made it home safe. They get in no accident. They can get arrested, and they'll send you a text. If they send you a text that night, just saying that they got home safe, you can reply back, cool, talk to you later. Don't start a conversation right there. That's way too thirsty and way too needy. They're just following up. You can always start a convo a couple of days later, kick it again some other time. All right, so that's the club situation. And then let's say you get a girl at a random place. It could be anywhere, grocery store, any kind of PetSmart, or any kind of Home Depot, or wherever you're going to go shopping, even clothes, Bed Bath & Beyond, or wherever. You get a girl's number. When is the best time to send a text? I would say not that day is the first thing. And then usually wait a day or so, because you're meeting somebody on the fly. You got other things going on. I'm sure they probably got other things going on. Give it a day or so. Usually 2 days. If you really want 3 days, it really doesn't matter. But just wait. Not the same day. That's just the main thing. So wait a little bit. A day or so. And then send them a text. Now, the thing about it is, when do you send the text? What time do you send the text? Usually, like I said, if I give my number out, I usually get a response from the female, usually early in the morning, anywhere between 7 and 11, usually 7 and 10 o'clock in the morning. They'll send me a text just to see what I'm doing, see what's up, just say hi. To start a couple little conversation, a little banter back and forth. So that's a good time, early. Doesn't matter, because usually everybody's working and stuff like that. I have my own business, so I don't get up that early. Hey, it's cool to hear that they're working and doing something productive in their life, It just shows they got things going on, and that's always good. So yeah, that's a good time. You can always do it later in the evening. That's when usually I text, is around between, let's say, 2 o'clock and really between 2 and almost 5. Sometimes they'll get off work and then they're not going to be able to call you or text back right away. And then sometimes people will forget. I do a lot. So if somebody texts me, it's around 5 o'clock and you're going home and you got to get in traffic and all that other stuff, there's a lot of things going on, and you just really you forget about sending the person a text back. You might see it come through, but you're driving, or you're on your way out the door. You don't really want to, if you got to, fight traffic and all that stuff, the last thing you want to do is be sitting in your car trying to, have a conversation through text and all that stuff. So you're just going to, you got the mindset to get in traffic and fight all that stuff and get home. And usually you'll forget about the text, and then when you do remember it, it's too late. It's already like, 9 o'clock or something at night, or 10 o'clock. And you're like, oh, well, I'll text the person the next day or whatever. And then you forget. So that always goes aside. And some people forget so often, they feel bad even texting you back, like 24 hours, like, damn, I forgot. They just forget it all. And it's like, oh, forget it, I'm not going to text back. So try to do it before 5 o'clock. Before, it's going home time. Usually around 4 is when people are dreading that last hour to go home. You know what I'm saying? So try to do like that, anywhere between 7 in the morning and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's always a good time to text. Now, that's just, a regular weekday. Weekend, you could go a little bit further out. That's when you're setting up a date. If you already have something scheduled, you guys, that Monday through Friday, you were talking and you guys set something up for Friday or Saturday. Yeah, you can definitely text past 5 o'clock. Usually the text is like, usually you text earlier during the day to figure out if you're still meeting up. The girl will usually text you back, just say, hey, we still good for today. If they don't, then you send them a text, early in the morning. If it's Friday, you have something set up for Friday, send them around 10 o'clock in the morning. We still good for today. Now, if you don't hear nothing back by 5 o'clock, just pretty much consider it that don't want to go forward with that date. You don't have to keep texting them, sending what's up. Just know that they're not interested, and you got flaked on. Just keep it moving. But usually somebody will text you, or if it's past 6 o'clock, that can also saying, are we still good too? You guys still meet up? I'm just saying, I've had that happen before where it's already, you're going to be meeting somebody at 8 o'clock, and then I talk to them, let's say the day before, like 24 hours earlier, like on a Thursday, and say, hey man, you want to come out, meet me over here on Friday? Let's say it's 8 o'clock on Thursday, and say, hey, you want to come meet me out on Friday at this place over here, same time tomorrow, 8 o'clock. And they'll say, all right, cool. And I won't talk to them all day on Friday. Come 8 o'clock, because I just talked to them 24 hours. I'm not going to, reply back at 10 in the morning saying we still good. I just talked to you a little while ago, within 24 hours. So by 8 o'clock's coming up, and it's 6 o'clock, and I'm getting ready, I'll usually get a text from the person and that girl, and she'll just say, hey, are we still good? Like, yeah, we're still good. That's, I expect that. It's within 24 hours. You don't need a notice within 24 hours. That's my rule. If I set up 2 days, all right, cool. I'll that's a little bit, 48 hours. I'll ask for the confirmation, or just to make sure on that day. But 24 hours, I usually don't ask for confirmation. We just did that within 24 hours. If you ghost me within 24 hours, that's on you. That just shows you're a bad person and can't really just say no. If somebody's asking you out to do something next day, say you're busy. I don't care. Make up something, but don't agree to something and then not show up. That's just shows you're a bad character in person on your behalf. Yeah, and that's about it on texting. Just like I said, it can happen that night. It can happen the next day or whatever. And that's how people usually respond. Just always give it a day. If you got a text from somebody or you get their number and you want to hook up with them, you don't want to sound too desperate and too needy, like that's the only person going on in your life. You do want to sound busy and you have other things going on. Usually when you are busy and you have other things going on, you're usually doing those things. And when you do have free time is when you text a person and saying, hey, I got my free time, send them something, and always mirror match their responses. So if you send a text and then they take 5 hours to get back to you, then take 5 hours back or take 4 hours back at minimum. Mirror match what a person's interest is in you. And you'll see how it works out, because if you do it, let's say they take 5 hours and then you respond back 30 minutes later. And then they take another 3 hours responding you 30. You're going to see that they're really not interested. You're way over putting your time into that person. But when you mirror match them, and let's say they respond back 3 hours later, and then you respond back 3 hours later too, most of the time they're going to respond back within 30 minutes because they don't want to wait 3 hours. If they're really interested, they don't want to wait 3 hours to get back and carry the conversation, which because they're really wanting to see what's up. Maybe they really were busy. So if they respond back within 30 minutes, then you respond back, let's say, within 20 minutes, and then they'll probably respond back within 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and then they, now they're interested, they're engaged, because you're saying interesting things. But if you say dull things, like, so what you up to today, what's the weather, what are some stupid stuff, then they're probably not going to be as interested. Know that as well. Just because somebody's taking a long time to respond, don't think that it's because of you. It could be the things that you're saying also. That is a big thing in text. You don't want to sound too generic. You don't want to sound too bland. You always want to come off as funny, as something that's just playful, flirtatious, something that's always upbeat. Nothing too, serious and too bland, about the whole thing that every other person does. Everybody always tries to play it safe, and they don't want to risk it on anything. But I like doing the risk part all the time, because if I can't do that, then I can't do a whole lot of other things. And I like saying, flirtatious, kind of almost sexy, naughty things in through text. Though I don't get too X-rated, but just something to keep the thing kind of funny, and upbeat. And if I can't do that, then that's not being me, and then I'm being fake, and then whatever I'm saying through text is just not going to come off as genuine. All right, man, so that is about it. I'll maybe make another one up on what to say in a text, just to kind of get more in detail on that area. All right, man, so that's about it for this one. This is your boy Kayne Frost, and these are my books on Amazon and elsewhere. All right, man, till the next time, rock on and peace.